Hey, this is Amazing Toyin. The topic of today is the power of belief as it relates to success. What you believe is what you achieve in most circumstances. And if you don't believe in something, you at least probably believe in God. So, what do I mean? Because we always pray, I believe in God, the Father Almighty. So it's like God, then believe in yourself, believe in your family, believe in your environment. Those are all the factors that lead to your success. And I'm going to relate it to how it affects me and how it can affect you. I read a lot. I read a lot of books. And from when I was young, I read this statement where it says, much that is useful can only be found in books. And one of my earliest books that relates to my success is this book called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. So I've been reading the book for almost, 40 years? Feels like I'm old, right? But if you look at the book, see, it's all kind of jacked up, all torn, right? These are all my writings. I bought the book in 1975 when I just barely got out of high school. So I started, kind of serializing the book so that I can share with you the factors that were responsible for my success despite all the failings, uh, all the headaches, all the problems that I ran into as an individual, which most of you probably will relate to, and which a lot of people relate to as far as um, achieving success is concerned. So I use this book as a guide. You know how people use the Bible as a guide to their life, right? This is like a guide. So every time I get lost, I just go back to the book. It's like going back to the basics. Okay. Every time I have a doubt in myself, I go back to the book. So if you don't have the book, you should probably get one. And I'm sure it's still in print. You probably won't get one that looks like mine. Okay. So I'm going to talk about something that Dr. Schwartz relates to as far as belief and success. Now, I read a lot of stuff. I read a lot of books, and I buy books every week, and I try to read a book a week if I can. And I'm going to share with you as I go along some of the books that have had a lot of influence in my life. For example, I also read journals. I read newspapers, magazines, anything that can help me to increase my knowledge so that I can achieve the success that I want. The same success that everybody wants for themselves. And so people always wonder, well, how is it that everything you touch turns to gold? How will you like to make everything turn to gold once you touch it? How will you like to make it feel like, success to you is effortless? Well, it probably has to do with this. This is the Wall Street Journal, right? The Wall Street Journal is probably like 100 pages, sometimes 150. And I read it every morning. Sometimes I don't finish it, so I put it there. And then on the weekend, I go through it like my life depends on it. Now, and I'll tell you why I read the Wall Street Journal. I've been reading it since my college days, right? On and off. But most times, when I can afford it, which is a lot of times, right? Except when I just say, okay, well, I don't, because there was a point where I actually had so many of them piled up, and I stopped my subscription. But I can never get my head out of it. It can never get out of my head. Every day I think about my Wall Street Journal. Every freaking day. Until I went back and subscribed again, right? So I'm going to tell you a story about the Wall Street Journal, right? When I was in college, I used to, first time I tried to subscribe, or when I was reading other magazines, so my name got on the mailing list of Wall Street Journal. And so they would send me these letters every quarter intermittently, right? And so I will read the letter, and the letter goes like this. You probably might see the sun shining here. That's it. I'm gonna probably let me close my blind. As you guys can see, I'm recording this inside my home. Okay, so I closed my blind. um, so so I said the story goes like this. Um, that several years ago, two friends got out of college and they went to work for the same company. And after about 15 years or 20 years, one was the president and one was just a manager of the division. And so they asked the question, what made the difference? The difference is in the information they got, the information they read, the books they read, the people they expose themselves to. So how come one became a president and the other is just a manager, for a small division? That's the question that Wall Street Journal always pose to business people, people that want to advance themselves, most corporate executives subscribe to this, right? No matter who you are, even as a small business owner or even a student, what the Wall Street Journal does is gives you a wide perspective, and the articles are very, very interesting. So, enough about Wall Street Journal. Now, so one of the things I found in the paper the other day was says no matter what, read ambitiously. So that's why I read books. I try to read a book a week. And so let's go, going back to this power of belief. At some point, when I was in high school, we were in high school in Nigeria. I came originally from Nigeria. We were always thinking, and some of us actually believed it, that we're going to end up in America. Even though at that time, we didn't really have any money. We had no way, we don't even know where the embassy was, because our high school was like several hundred miles from the capital where the embassy was. But we always dreamed about, going to America. And so I believed that someday I'm going to end up in America. And I did. When I got here, I had certain beliefs that I am going to succeed here no matter what. Okay? I believed that I wasn't meant to do the same things that a lot of my friends had to do in order to, achieve success here. In other words, work many jobs and stuff like that. I was determined that this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to do. And it's always been part of my life. And it has to do with this book. Okay? Because what you believe in your mind is where your mind focuses. And then you try to take the steps to get you there. Okay? And so taking those steps, as you guys will see, over the long haul, is that taking those steps will allow you to slowly get to your goals, right? And being successful is not something that only a few people have. It's something you could learn. Success is a learnable skill, just like this gentleman says, Brian Tracy. You probably all know who Brian Tracy is. He's one of the motivational speakers out there. Okay, so success is a learnable skill. So if success is a learnable skill, how come everybody's not successful? Well, number one, they don't believe they could be successful, and number two, they're not even willing to learn how to become successful. And so, if you're watching this, the first thing I want you to understand, is to believe that you could succeed, and number two, and that you could learn the factors that can lead to your success. Okay, and so another step is to get a book like this, or try to read a book, maybe a week or a year or whenever, or watch, this channel as I serialize books, that can help lead to success. Okay. And so people always wonder, right? What is success? Well, let me show you. Success, really, what it means is this, personal prosperity. In other words, you are prospering. Success means that in order for you to prosper, you have made some sacrifices, because it doesn't just show up. The sun is coming in from another angle. I got a lot of big glass in my house, right? So let me close this also. So since the sun is coming in, okay, so I could probably turn off this light. So being able to prosper has to do with you making sacrifices for your success, right? Okay, and if you become successful, it means you get a fine home, you have holidays, you'll be able to travel, you have new experiences, you have financial security, which most people seek. I don't know anybody out there that is not seeking financial security. But in order for you to actually get financial security, you not only do you have to make the sacrifices, you have to actually believe it. Okay? You gain admiration, you achieve leadership. All of those things, okay, has to do with belief. And I'll give you an example. We just had an election here in the US, and nobody gave Donald Trump a chance. But he believed in himself. Everybody was against him, maybe except me. Okay? And that's one of the factors I admired, in him. And that's one of the factors that leaders have. They believe in themselves. So if you're watching this today, you ask yourself, how much belief do you have in yourself? How much belief do you have in your capacity? Okay? And if you are lacking some strength that can help get you to your personal success, what are you willing to do for it? What books do you have to read? What skills do you have to develop? Who do you have to call upon? What mentors do you have to seek in order to get you to the level where you begin to achieve measured success in your life? Okay? So, the next topic will be the personal successes that led me to huge success based on my belief. Okay, and you will have to, and I will list them here, and then we'll discuss them in my next topic, which is how did I do it? Right? How did I do it? To which I have 4 college degrees. Right? To where I become top salesperson. Nationally. Right? Have a look at how we're doing in terms of time. Let me see right here. Okay, so we're fine. Okay, so I got like 7 minutes because I want to end this before my daughter wakes up. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, so she wakes up at 7. So we're now 6:52, right? And so once she wakes up, she has 1 hour before she goes to school. And so I can't really record because the house is all kind of busy. How I became a top salesperson nationally, right? How I started several businesses. And how I lost all of them. All. value of $10 million. Okay, I lost $10 million. Filed bankruptcy twice. Started over again. Over. And build, right? You guys can read it, right? A new business to $50 million in revenue, right? And you guys will find out what even happened after this. There's an M here, 50 million, right? So I'm going to discuss how I use the power of belief, the magic of thinking big, okay, to achieve this, and how you can do the same. It's very, very possible for anyone who has belief in themselves, okay, to be able to achieve anything. And there's this saying by one of, I think it was from one of our, maybe one of our founding fathers, right? I think I actually have it here. I have the quote here. Let me find it, right? See, I'm going to find it here because I wrote it down and I read it every time. Okay, well, actually, it was from this Science of Personal Achievement, and it says, it goes thus: there's no environment so unfavorable, so discouraging, no situation so disheartening that a youth, if you're young, you're watching this, that a youth, because when I think they were addressing this to when you were young, right? But even now, at your age, no matter what your age is, Colonel Sanders didn't start until he was close to 60 to build Kentucky, right? Ray Kroc was 56 when he started McDonald's. So it says there's no environment so unfavorable. So you guys can see, let me see, you see my writing there? This was written like in 1975. There's no environment so unfavorable, so discouraging, no situation so disheartening that a youth who is made of the right kind of material cannot change it. Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, Fred Douglass, Winston Churchill, Andrew Carnegie, Dale Carnegie, and modern days, right? So we could mention like Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, and just think of all those people that you might know, right? Who actually had a hard time growing up, okay? And thousands of other men and women found themselves in the midst of the most disheartening environment, but they made a new one for themselves. It is possible for you to do the same. The great trouble with most of us is that we never get aroused, never discover ourselves until late in life, often too late to make much out of the remnant that is left. It is very important that we become aroused to our possibilities when young, thus we may overcome the most unfavorable environment and get the greatest possible efficiency out of our lives. Now, if you want this statement, okay, just email me and I'll send it to you, amazingtoying@gmail.com. And then just refer to the the Science of Personal Achievement, my handwriting one, and I'll send it to you. So no matter where you are right now, okay, no matter where you've been, and no matter how old you are, you could start today. you could believe in yourself today. You could begin to learn the skills of success. Okay? And once you learn it, then success is just yours for the taking. And so in my next lecture, I'll take you guys through this, all the ups and downs I had going through all this. When with 4 college degrees, I had to become a used car salesman. I was the only person that I know who has an MBA that was selling cars because I couldn't get a job. But most people who have an MBA would never go that way, ever. I don't even know anybody that's ever done it or has done it since I have done it. But guess what? I did it because I needed, number one, a job, and number two, it was better than trying to, game somebody. Okay, and I was never ashamed because I always promised myself, you should never be ashamed to take a stepping stone, either as a job or a service that will get you to a higher level of where you want to be. But I want to thank God, looking back, that I actually went into the car industry, even though I had a college degree, because He taught me to achieve the rest of all this. And so we'll continue with that tomorrow. Or I say tomorrow because I don't know when next you're going to actually come back and watch this. But I will go over all these in my next lecture, how I did this, how I went to zero, got up, and did it over again. And so wherever you are right now, I'm telling you that you could do it too. So I'll see you in my next video. This is amazing toying. And if you like this video, just give me your comment below. Ask me your questions because I'll try to answer every question that comes in my series. So just ask me a question, just leave a comment. And if it's of value to you, try to share it with your friends and your family members. Okay? So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.